reached the age where everything I think happened 2 to 3 years ago really happened in 2003. This title card from The Running Man, 1987, makes me feel old. By 2017, the world economy has collapsed. Food, natural resources, and oil are in short supply. A police state divided into paramilitary zones rules with an iron hand. The Sun Baby from Teletubbies is 27 years old now. Okay, that's pretty great though. I mean, come on. I went on a youth backpacking trip. I asked one of the teens what music he was listening to. He said some classic rock, so I assumed he meant Led Zeppelin or something. But then he listed off Blink-182 and Coldplay, and suddenly it felt like I came to America on the Mayflower. I'm nothing like my parents, I say to myself as I stuff plastic bags inside of other plastic bags. What? They're reusable. That's a smart move. Stops drinking liquids at 5 p.m. Bladder at 3 a.m. Still not good enough. I'm a Gen Xer, so I adapt to new technology like a millennial but get angry about it like a boomer. Oh, dude, let me tell you, as one of the youngest millennials, I think, as far as being able to call myself that, I get so frustrated with technology. It drives me absolutely insane. I can get it, but I hate it. When they gave you the worst seat but you thought it was the best seat, that is the best seat. What the heck is burning CDs? Ooh, I know this one. I used to do it a lot. And I currently do it a lot with my game collection. I burn my games and then I use special software to play them, which is legal, by the way. They are my games, I paid for them. Remember that. 25-year-old car in my head, 25-year-old car in reality. This door weighed more than the entire car you're driving now. That's the truth, and it was way more dangerous too. Simple times. Oh dude, this is why I collect tapes and currently make mixtapes and fun stuff for any occasion you can think of. Just another little hobby. They do sound pretty fine too, it's not bad. So I kept my music in a CD wallet, which was the style at the time. I do need to get one of those for the car. Get some crappy used versions of all my favorite CD albums that I like to keep safe and listen to exclusively at home, and then just toss that sucker in the car. These guys were 34 and 35 when Cheers started, right? Isn't it crazy? Now they're at their mid to late 70s now or something like that? You may be old, but are you this old? No, I'm not. Me. When I was your age, a paperclip named Clippy would help me write letters to my friends. Sure, Grandpa, let's get you out of bed. Here we see some TikTokers learning the latest trend. Oh, a millennial. Are you lost? Are you hurt? Let's get you home, ma'am. I want to learn the dance. I try to be kind to my elders because anyone born before 1990 has survived a historical shift that's absolutely brain-melting. Like, you remember people waiting in line for VHS tapes, and now you're expected to understand crypto. Yeah, things are pretty exponential. Oh, there's the burning CDs thing again. We already talked about it. After turning 35, men must make a decision to get really into World War II history or really into smoking various meats. 35, okay. Well, as a kid, I already went through the World War II phase. I think a lot of young boys, or actually maybe young girls too, I don't know. All I know is at 35, it seems like my only option is smoking various meats because that's delicious. All you damn kids with your Fortnites and Black Opses, y'all wouldn't make it up past the Kansas River. Eminem is 50. And? Is that supposed? What? And? This freaking killed me. Excuse my ignorance, but I'm going through old photos and I found these. I see little pictures in them. What's the point? Ah, the negatives. Sigh. AARP presents Bare Naked. Are you freaking kidding me? There's no way. I just had it brought to my attention that 1980 and 2021 are as far apart as 1980 and 1939. I'm just gonna need a minute. Oh dear God. I don't know who needs to see this, but Sean Astin from Stranger Things with an otter. That's Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings, you fetus. Actually, he's from Goonies, you millennial trash. This is how we define our generations. Where do we know Sean Astin from? Me? Lord of the Rings. Although I also did grow up with him in Goonies. Technically. Look, I owned VHSs a lot as a kid. I didn't grow up with DVDs. Okay, I did eventually, but we didn't really last long in the DVD market because Blu-rays, well, bam, right afterwards, and I always made my mom get those at a certain point. We memorized phone numbers. We memorized driving directions. No one knew what we looked like. No one could reach us. We were gods. How old are you? Well, apparently not that old. I feel like I was doing this just like 4 or 5 years ago. Kids, Grandpa and Grandma are here. Aw, my favorite too. Especially the cassette. Kids imagining what life would be like at 40. I'm 40. I have wrinkles and gray hair, and I would have a walking stick to help me walk. I am 40. I am turning old. I just left work because I cannot manage to go up and down hills. I know I will soon die. I can tolerate people this long. Dude, same. 10 years on. Is it actually them? Really? Really? You guys can call us Gen Xers Karen if you want, but if you understood us at all, it'd be Heather. What? That's not your name at all. Kids these days will never know the struggle. This is not an exaggeration. Your download speed would slow down to the point where Windows would make this kind of absurd estimate, and you'd sigh and leave the room for a while because you couldn't use the computer while it was doing this for fear it would crash and lose all your progress. And then you'd come back in 40 minutes and maybe it would now say 52 years, or maybe it would say 3 minutes. Who knew? Not Windows. Ain't that the truth, man? I remember those exact days. Happened on Windows XP too, because I see this is 98, is it? So yeah, oh man. Macaulay Culkin is now 4 years older than Catherine O'Hara was when she played his mom in Home Alone. One of my students really wrote a sentence that begins, "In the late 1900s." I had to reread it 3 times to realize what the heck was going on. My feelings are hurt. You may be old, but are you this old? You're damn right I'm that old, okay? Windows XP was, is, and will always be the best computer operating system ever made. Aesthetically. Look, the was solid, okay? What can I say? Man, I wish I could still be using it. Why do you think that when I live stream on YouTube, it looks like Windows XP? No joke, maybe you should drop by sometime. McDonald's called out order 867 and I yelled 5309 and nobody laughed. Then I felt old and ate my burger in the playground area. What's this port? There's a bunch in my new apartment and it's not Ethernet. Ah, that, my friend, is RJ11. Right? Danny Glover was only 41 when he decided he was getting too old for this shit. Yeah, because that feels like a fantastic age for a human being to be able to realistically retire. Look, your body's on its way out. You only got maybe 20 more years of being physically like rocking it, you know? If you work for it, of course. But no. We have to wait till the end of that 20 years when we're screwed and can't live our lives with the energy and fullness that a middle-aged person still technically can. This one hurt. Anyone know what type of port this is? Yeah, we just said it. It's for phones and fax machines and old modems and stuff. Juno's baby would now be a high school student today. Interesting. A lot of things would have changed today. Maybe it's just the Gen Z in me, but how do people burn CDs? Like, how did you just get a blank CD and put songs on it? Well, you went and you bought the blank CD, you threw it in a burner, and you burned it. Me? I'm in my prime. My knees. The f*** you are. I just found out Kurt Cobain has been dead longer than he was alive. How about you stop that? When you realize the first Shrek movie came out 19 years ago? We're all old. Me. I saw Lord of the Rings movies when they were in theaters. Kid. Wow, I wasn't even alive then. Well, we're all quite ready for another adventure, friend. If you want to know why Gen Xers are always mad, it's because we had to replace our record collections with a tape collection that was then replaced with a CD collection that was then replaced with MP3s, and damn it, how many times must I pay to listen to grunge? Well, because you chose to continue swapping your collections out, however many times you're wanting to change it out. Like I said, I got like 55 cassettes. I got a bunch of vinyl, man. Like, dude, what are you talking about? You should have just kept it. A friend just shared a line from a student paper. Despite being made in the late 1900s, yep, okay, there it is, another late 1900s. Who remembers attending McDonald's parties? I'm glad I don't. Who remembers their first mobile phone? It's that guy from Toy Story 3. Shout out to my mom. I'm sorry I rolled my eyes when you were confused by pop culture. I get it now. I have no idea who the well, okay, these people are. I never really found out about the Laurel versus Yanni thing. I'm confused and strangely angry and I want to have a sit. Then have a sit and use your brain. MTV turns 40 this year. Thanks for 14 years of music. Twitter needs an update where you can play music on your page when somebody comes on there, so they're gonna be hearing your favorite song. Yep, there it is. We finally reached the generation that doesn't know what MySpace is. You guys really want to see something cool? Go to spacehey.com. It's amazing. I bought myself some Mork suspenders, and I always get compliments on them from teens, most likely thinking that I'm an ally. Well, I hope you are one, first of all. As a kid, when this came on, it was time to turn the TV off. Remember when you thought the traveling Wilburys were a bunch of old farts? Huh. Well, I mean, how it feels when I'm telling a story about something that happened in my 20s and some grown-ass person next to me says, "Oh, that's the year I was born. I'm wearing pantaloons!" Hard to believe I once had a phone attached to the wall. When it rang, I'd pick it up without knowing who it was. Amazing I'm still alive, really. A woman I graduated high school with is a semi-famous porn star, and seeing her videos move to the mature section of Pornhub has made me feel worse than hearing the songs I grew up with on the classic rock stations. Still punk as f***, I whisper as I reach for my pill organizer. Some of y'all never had to push your own car, then jump it and pop it in clutch, and it shows. You're right. Some of us never had to do that because technology is supposed to improve and get better. Sorry, manual drivers. I mean, man, they work just fine otherwise. I'm sorry. I can drive a manual. I think it sucks ass. I do. Maybe it's because I never got good enough at it to be comfortable with it, you know? Because everything I hear about people that drive manual cars, they're like, it's just much more fun. I feel bored going from a manual that I'm used to an automatic that is boring. And I'm like, cool, I just want to get to where I'm going. And I don't care how comfortable I would be in traffic with a manual. I'm sorry, I don't think I could ever manage it. When I was a kid, there were no phones or tablets. We read cereal boxes at breakfast. So did I. That's not a... You think you're so cool. It's amazing the amount of arrogance that does show up sometimes. Kids exploring ancient ruins. I do remember, wasn't that long ago, so of course I would, that the final payphone in Manhattan was removed recently. It was amazing. People came out and it was an event. The older I get, the more I understand this outburst. That sandwich was the only good thing going on in my life. Look, Ross as a character is funny as hell. I still think he's the funniest character on the show, like in terms of his physical antics. And David Schwimmer kicks ass, but Ross had a lot of issues, was pretty misogynistic, and a bit of an arrogant douchebag, and we need to admit that. I love Friends. No, I don't care that The Office is better or that you think it is, because why would I give a shit about that? Look, we can admit that he was a jackass, pretty much the whole way through. How I feel when I have to scroll down to the year I was born. You don't actually have to, you can just scroll down to 1812, the website doesn't care. My sociology professor keeps an alphabetic list of new slang terms he learns from well, I mean, come on. Come on, man. That's sick, though. It's fun to keep up with the slang. I'm pretty bad at it, but it's fun. Oh, so you like vinyl records, huh? I also consider myself an audiophile. Hell yeah, you do. Kids getting thrown off right and left. Total carnage. Wails of anguish. Not one adult gave a single about it. The official sports drink when I was a kid? No, it was still Gatorade. Unless you were born in like 1912, you still had Gatorade, I'm sorry to say. Actually, just because I know people will get pissy in the comments, let's check something. There you go. 1965. I feel like 99% of the people here on this channel were not born before 1965, so yeah, I'm just saying. Gonna tell my kids these were teenagers. Were they? Hello, all of the actors from Friends are now older than the youngest Golden Girl was in the show's first season. Have a nice day. And now, unfortunately, all of the Golden Girls are gone. So thanks for reminding me about that one, okay? If you have a favorite pattern, your back hurts when you wake up now. Ooh, it's that castle on the hill. Back in my day, televisions were whittled straight out of the tree. As it should be. Artesian CRTs. The air in the mornings of field trips used to hit different. Yeah, because you knew you were gonna have a good day. Can you hear the pop-o-matic bubble? Yes, I can. 1993, you'll be living in a van down by the river. 2022, if you save up $45,000, maybe one day you too could live in a van down by the river. The granddaddy of White Claw. Ooh, a berry-flavored wine cooler. The 27 installation discs of Windows 95. Good God, man! Unplug it. Just throw it out. Make peace with our God. Oh yeah! Wait a minute. Really? Is this a legit sticker, or is this just one of those things someone fabricated and then we all pretend it's real, just to mess with me? Are you this old? I think you are. I know my aunt had a couple of these, but I don't remember what they are. I did collect Chevron cars as a kid, though. Huh? You remember those? I'm at the take a photo of the directions and zoom in on your phone stage of my life. Oh, I see. Yeah, good God, I can barely see that and I get to zoom in! I remember these at every table as I ate my McNuggets made with dark meat. Oh, right! I forgot about that. The McNugget thing. I don't give a shit about the cigarette trays. Is that Johnny Knoxville? No, that's gotta be his dad, right? I'm just kidding. I'm being a smartass. That's disrespectful to say. Johnny Knoxville is looking great these days. I love the guy. If that is him, right? I'm pretty sure that is. What better way of watching WrestleMania 1 than on Laserdisc? God! I've only watched one movie on Laserdisc in my lifetime, and that was Star Wars. Like the first one. Whew! That letterboxing was a Almost every grandma had these magnets on their refrigerator, right? I don't think mine did, but I do remember seeing those magnets a lot. Math teachers protest against calculator use. Why? Did you think it was going to take your jobs? Because that's not what happened. McDonald's in the 1980s compared to today. All right, let's take a look. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm happy about this. There are so many people that like to complain about it being corporate, soulless, sanitized, and blah, 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 which I get. A lot of the character is gone. But when the character is this uncomfortable and freaking grody looking, I feel like every surface in the 80s McDonald's is covered in some kind of next level virus. I can feel that plastic and just bleh. Remember getting your feet measured by this bulky thing? Oh yeah, I do. Did they not use these anymore? I thought that they still did this. Doom is closer in time to the moon landing than it is to today. Hey, shut your mouth. You shut up, okay? Why do you gotta do this, man? Why do you need to do this? Paul Rudd is now the same age as Wilford Brimley when he was filming the movie Cocoon. Man, some people just have a very different set of genes. That's all it is. That's all it is, dude. Paul Rudd's got the genes, he's got the money, and he's got the personality that keeps him youthful. Paul Rudd's gonna look like this in 30 years, okay? Wilford Brimley? I do find that insane, though. It just goes to show how diverse we all really are, doesn't it? I'm this old. All right, let's see. Gauntlet on a floppy. Like a real floppy. Because remember, they were called floppy disks because the original ones were actually pretty floppy. Then they had those little rigid ones that you couldn't flop around anymore and it wasn't as fun. Oh, God. I remember working with a girl once who, when she saw a floppy disk, unironically asked us, how did they make the save icon a real thing? And you know what? I kinda like that it's always been our save icon. I think it's great. These have been in the glove box of every horseless carriage I've owned since the 1900s. Every horseless carriage, huh? Also, I don't know. I've never gotten a car with Michigan maps. I've never been there. The famous tiger picture from Gem Paint on my good old 1986 Amstrad PC 1512. Whew, I can hear this computer. I can hear the hard drive whirring up. Damn, it's so old it's got the real floppy! Lily Tomlin, Dolly Parton, and Jane Fonda with director Colin Higgins on the set of 9 to 5 in 1980. I need to watch this movie. I do. I love Dolly to death, so I have to watch the movie. What's a payphone nook? For that matter, what's a payphone? Don't say those words. Don't say those words, man. Again, I already told you guys how old I am. I'm 27, but I know damn well what a payphone was. I've used them before. A pen advertisement from 1968. I thought these pens looked pretty cool. Oh, dude, what? I can't wait for advertisements that look like this to come back. It's gonna be so fun. Also, I would not mind having some of those pens. Papermate rocks. MK, oh, is that, Mortal Kombat one? 30th anniversary pick? Is that what it is? Hey, it is. Oh, you guys rock. I'm in Target. I'm trying to buy a photo album. I asked where they might be. Worker did not know what a photo album was. I said it was a place to keep pictures. He sent me to the tech aisle. He assumed I wanted memory to store more pictures on my phone. I am 1 billion years old. I don't know about that, because they do sell photo albums kinda everywhere still. Although, you know what? I do believe your story now that I think about it. When I worked at a UPS store, I had a man who was maybe my age, actually, maybe a little older than me, who didn't know how to address a letter. I had to tell him how to fill out the envelope to get it to where it needed to go, so I believe it. Still punk as hell, I whisper as I reach for my pill organizer. Hey, I'm not far, dude. McDonald's pizza was a thing from the 1980s through the end of the 1990s. Despite this long run, it seems to have gone all the way down the memory hole. Don't they still do this in Canada? At least in some spots of Canada? The McPizza? Kids today have no clue about this game and how much fun it was to play. Alright, what game we talking? Heads Up, 7-Up? That's what it's called, right? I played that. Do they not do that anymore? It's such a simple thing to do. Early 1960s landline telephone jack. Woo-hoo-hoo! All the way before we got to RJ7. I don't know why, this is just a gnarly looking plug. Before there was a Spotify app on your iPhone/AirPods. Okay, Grandpa, it's alright. Dude, I'd kill for a Walkman though. I grew up with a Walkman and a Discman, because they did have a Discman shortly after. The simpler times. Hell, I still collect CDs. I don't collect my cassettes or vinyl anymore because that was a little too impractical, but my CDs, I'm never getting rid of those. If you filled out one of these at the library at some point, you belong here. Ooh, I think I only did once in school. By the time I had really gone to the real big boy library, they had kind of digitized this entire process. Anyone remember the metal lid you had to use a butter knife to pop off? Okay, that I don't remember. I do not remember that at all. By the time I started drinking Nesquik, it was in plastic bins. I once navigated a cross-country trip solely using MapQuest printouts. Oh man. Ooh, I only had to use this a few times, luckily. Now, you want a real fun blast from the past? MapQuest is still around. Go to mapquest.com. Seriously, I believe you can still print out your directions. I feel like people/companies just use words with no regard for what they actually mean. Punk clothing. Of course they do. They've always done that. Also, you gotta remember, whether you like it or not, definitions for words are going to change a lot. And honestly, despite what the boomers say, it's really not hard to keep up with the lingo. The only reason anybody ever thought it was hard was because they thought they were too good to ask. Bro, I don't know what this means. What's that mean? Oh, that's what it is? Oh, okay, cool, no problem. That's as easy as it is. It's as easy as it gets. Also, you got Urban Dictionary now, man. Even if you don't ask somebody else, you can just look it up and figure it out. I see your plastic NFL helmets and raise you the NFL pencils. Whew, okay. How old are these? Huh? Which one do I want? I want the Seahawks Dixon Ticonderoga number 2 pencil. In 2023, Ralph Macchio, age 61, and William Zabka, age 57. I didn't know that Billy was that much younger, honestly. And dude, I gotta say, Cobra Kai, fucking awesome. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can put the timer up. I'm just gonna sit here for just a moment, talk about how cool Cobra Kai was, and I would like to thank YouTube Red, before it went under, for bringing us this show. It's the perfect amount of dumb, cheesy I love it. I love you, Cobra Kai. It was probably the late 80s, early 90s the last time I drank one of these. An RC Cola? I mean, you can go down the road and get another one. We memorized phone numbers. We memorized driving directions. No one knew what we looked like. No one could reach us. We were gods. That is true. Nowadays, everybody feels like they have access to you 24/7, because they technically do. When I was a kid, there were no phones or tablets. We read cereal boxes at breakfast. Okay, Facebook grandma, that's nice. Got my new license. A lot more gray in that pic. Sometimes it takes seeing a recent picture of yourself to stop and realize I'm old as hell now. I do fully plan on saving every license I get from here on out, because I would love to look back when I'm like 60 and go, damn, woo-hoo-hoo, I'm so much hotter now. Redditors who are old enough to have watched DVDs, what movie's menu screen looped endlessly in the background while you fooled around with a date? Old enough to have watched DVDs. Good lord. Look, I know we're up to 4K discs and Blu-ray definitely took over the world, but DVDs are very much still in print everywhere on the planet. My local Walmart almost exclusively deals in DVDs, so I think this person might just be a little kooky. Remember when this was a novelty that no one thought would last long? Yep, it's the new standard. Just like green rings and Apple Jacks. What? Green rings and... okay, I guess. The Mega Mouth Can! I mean, I'm glad this became the new standard, man. I like Mega Mouth cans. Who remembers this badass monster? I do not. I'm sorry, I don't remember him at all. Linkin Park versus the Killers. Linkin Park and the Killers are still pretty new, huh? No, Dad Rock is like Van Halen and Bob Seger and stuff. 1984, Nike hoped to make $3 million in Jordan sales over 4 years. 2022, Nike generates $3 million in Jordan sales every 5 hours. I mean, hell yeah, I guess. Anyone ever use Earl Scheib to get their car painted? I'll paint any car, any color, only $30. What? When the hell was this? Now it costs like $10,000. Who remembers the original search engine? That wasn't what I was expecting. I straight up did not expect this giant archival thing. Even though I should have. When they gave you the worst seat, but you thought it was the best seat. Because it was the best seat, dude. No joke, I would absolutely kill for a mint condition like old Buick or Ford station wagon, man. God, those things were cool. Cashier checks my ID in half a second. That was fast. Yeah, I saw the 19. Me. It's too bad. Getting out of bed in the morning. I hurt myself today. I was given a 10% senior discount by the 20-something-year-old cashier at this barbecue spot. I'm 48. I came here for some brisket, not depression. Dude, be happy. It's a discount. Ivan Reitman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Danny DeVito on the set of Junior, 1994. Oh, and we lost at least one of these guys. I say at least one, like I'm not sure about the other two. I know Arnold and Danny are still around, but we miss you, Ivan. We do. Kate Capshaw, Harrison Ford, and Ke Huy Quan during the filming of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom in 1984. And I'm so happy to see that Ke got an Oscar. Dang it was so deserved, man. I love that guy. I just really wish he was going to have a cameo in Indy 5, but of course not. There was a time not so long ago when we had to physically mail our funny videos to a television show show and hope they chose to share it with viewers. And that show's still around, too. Remember Late Night Sign-Off? I only saw this happen one time in my life. Only once. And I'm glad that it's immortalized for our generations to see and learn about via Toy Story 2, okay? It was real, it happened, and it was the strangest thing I'd ever experienced. The Simpsons shorts first aired on Fox on April 19th, 1987. It initially ran as a recurring segment on The Tracy Ullman Show before becoming its own primetime TV show. Ah, yes. The original Simpsons. And wouldn't you know it, that's some serious job security. I don't think voice actors will ever get another gig that's that long-lasting, dude. I'm just thinking about how long it's been. It's crazy, man. Danny Glover was only 41 when he decided he was getting too old for this shit. Let that sink in. Well, did you watch those movies? Because, man, I would have been too old for it today with what he was going through, all right? Which console controller did you start with? I've seen this one going around a little bit. I started with 2, not because I was around in the 80s, but because, hey, poorer people started with the cheaper consoles, man, and you could get stuff like that for free. So, yeah, I started with that one. I think my second controller was 6, and then my third would have been 9. And now, we're just all over the place. Did you believe this nonsense? Welcome to Someday. Someday, in the comfort of your home, you'll be able to shop and bank electronically, read instantly updated news wires, and analyze the performance of a stock that interests you. I'm sure there were a lot of people that thought this was too far-fetched. Found my childhood globe at my parents' house. Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Is that what that... The American school system failed me. I swear to God, I do not remember them one time telling us what the USSR stood for. Tobey Maguire was the same age in No Way Home as Willem Dafoe was in Spider-Man 1. Damn, dude. On this day, 55 years ago, this Stanley Kubrick masterpiece premiered. Ah, Space Odyssey. I still need to watch the 4K transfer of it because I hear it is miraculous, especially on an OLED. I started writing software in the 90s. Woo! Well, good for you. I wouldn't have been able to do that. The I'm So Old starter pack, said by a 20 or 30-year-old, uses pop culture references to claim they're old. OMG, Mean Girls came out almost 20 years ago. I'm so old. Well, yeah, that's how it works. Sticky Bear, Apple II. Apple II. Remember those old school Swanson TV dinners? I don't. I know that Swanson's still around, right? Anyway, look at these. Oh, man. Not only would I still be hungry after eating one of these, I would be so unsatisfied. Saw these at a tech museum. Well, that's cool, though. I think payphones should live on in one way or another. I think it's cool. When you realize that 1980 and 2023 are as far apart as 1980 and 1937. Who remembers these pieces of art? I do. And much like that character in Mallrats, I still don't see the goddamn sailboat. So who had one of these when they came out? Oh my God, I want one of those now, okay? I would kill for one of these now. Oh, they're so cool. This Metallica Now. What? This Metallica Now. Yep, they have been around a while. As I've gotten older, I've become used to injuring myself in stupid, unathletic ways. But today I set a new bar. I hurt my knee writing. I will be taking no further questions at this time. That is fair. You do you. You do what you need to do. First mobile phone call was made 50 years ago today. Well, okay, not today, though. It was quite a while ago. American engineer Martin Cooper, widely known as the father of the handheld cell phone, made the first mobile phone call 50 years ago on April 3rd, 1973. Cooper, who was an engineer at Motorola at the time, called his counterpart at rival firm Bell Laboratories to tell him he was calling from a personal handheld portable cell phone. What a G. Absolute G. Hey, guess what I'm doing, bitch? Who remembers this toy phone? I had one as a kid. Did anyone else have one? I did, yeah. I mean, I didn't get it new by any means, but I did have it. 3D View Master Reels. This is how I took in cartoons and fairy tales and got to travel to tourist attractions. That sounds kind of cool. Oh, they're these. The right, Viewmaster. I'm dumb. A new tricycle. Paradise, California, April 1965. Can we make adult tricycles, like really cool big ones? I know that we have some, but I want one that looks like this. Can we make adult big wheels too? Getting these from the AAA maps? Dude, I am a AAA member, all right? I've got everything from AAA. I freaking love those weirdos. Found it Goodwill, and it works. Oh, dude, you got lucky, man. 80% of the stuff I buy from Goodwill is completely freaking broken. And I'm so tired of a company that is for profit, they are not non-profit, for profit, getting free product all the time and getting to charge ridiculous prices for stuff only for it to be broken. Come on!
Jackie Chan is 68.
No, he isn't.
Yeah,
No, he isn't.
Rayovac Sportsman Red Flasher Lantern circa 72. Wow, what a long statement of something I have no idea what the hell that is. Is that a torch? It looks like the creation of some wacky scientist in an old 50s movie. I'm at a place in my life where errands count as going out. Hooray for feeling exhausted just after grabbing groceries. Did you have a cap like this? I did. Oh, we never had these in Australia. We did something much worse. We grew our hair like this. It was called a mullet, and it's coming back. I see it in children, and it scares me. We need to bring bullying back. I don't know what's... There was a time that magazines came with CD-ROMs. Yes! You could literally get a full game just by buying a $7 magazine. Age of Empires, anyone? Anyone? I still make juice this way. What? No, I'm genuinely confused. What is that disgusting heap of gunk? Carpenter's 8-track. We had so many 8-tracks. I'm really going to insult their love of music when I say this, but who? This game came out 32 years ago. People who played this as 10-year-olds when it released are now in their 40s. This really brings into perspective how, in the next 30 to 40 years, a lot of our politicians are going to be people who grew up with memes. I look forward to all the cringy political campaigns in that time. Kid.
Did they have scary movies when you were a kid?
Me. We had a scary everything when I was a kid. Go on, tell me, those of you who yearn for nostalgia, tell me how this is better. I mean, they killed off 4 out of 7 of these characters. It was like Game of Thrones back then. Cashier checks my ID in half a second. Me.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah, I saw the 19. Me.
Hate you for saying that.
I'm old enough to remember the very first TED Talk. It was most excellent. What is your life goal? Is it excellent or is it only righteous?
If someone wants to just put like a sound effect of a crowd cheering, I can't be bothered. Yeah. Yay! Clap, clap. That was me slapping my stomach. That's as much effort as I'll give.
iPod on display at the Smithsonian Museum. Really shows how fast the world tries to move now when something that was less than 20 years ago is considered relic enough for a museum. My wagon versus my kid's wagon. Yeah, ew, what's with all that safer features and smoother design to make it more comfortable? Who remembers this cookbook? Not me. Haha, I'm still a child, technically, once again. I can just feel my body hair shriveling back in. Conair Hair Crimper, early 90s.
Nobody crimps my style like a fashion plate, or waves it, or straightens it.
As a 90s person, I can guarantee, either no one knew what they were doing or they didn't care. What are these secondary knobs? What does the bottom knob do? Oh, you want to know about the bottom knob, do you? It orders pizza at the cost of someone in the family. Any kids around? Can't get my Windows 11 to work on my computer. Have you tried turning it off then on again and suddenly getting sucked into an alternate reality similar to Tron? I know I'm not the only one who grew up eating sandwiches like this. No one tell him. No one make him feel like anyone relates to them. I wonder what the part of my brain that used to store people's phone numbers is doing now. They've been transferred to the department that reminds you what you did 10 years ago. I thought these guys were awesome as a kid. I still do to this day. You might be old, but are you this old? Ah, it's my favorite collection of grandfatherly testicles. My birthday party at Discovery Zone. I'm definitely old, lol. If that ain't an example that you don't need to go fully out to make your kid have an amazing party. Seriously, tables, chairs, a basic space for cake, and running around. I used to work at a family resort where I used to think that the aesthetics were just so cheap and there's no way a kid would enjoy their party in this sort of space, but oh man, I am always wrong. Back when Cartoon Network was at its peak. 7 p.m., 7:30, 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30. I'm honestly surprised that of all the shows here that should be put on late, Cow and Chicken is the one that's the earliest. Hell, Johnny Bravo may have been Andrew Tate, but at least he respected the women when they rejected him. Hasbro's Perfection board game. Back when there was no TikTok to make you feel insecure about how well you fit in. Ace Ventura Pet Detective was released 29 years ago. Haha, I can say I was too young to remember this. I was literally born a year later, but I can still say it! Pink Floyd updated their profile picture to celebrate the 50th anniversary of The Dark Side of the Moon, and the replies are something. In case you somehow don't get this reference, their album literally has a rainbow on it. What's up with the rainbow?
I lose the rainbow, you're making yourself look stupid.
Oh, the irony.
What is that, Pink Floyd? What a disgrace!
For this moment, I don't listen to this band.
Are you going woke with rainbows? Is there a straight flag? I want equal representation. Don't get me wrong, we should all be true to who we are. Peace!
The 6-year-old flatly refused to believe that we used to navigate using maps made out of paper.
You mean like pirates?
Yes, son. I am a pirate. A limey one.
That's a LimeWire reference.
Did anyone else have this picture as well? Although physicists can't explain it, this exact picture was somehow simultaneously in 86% of American homes in 1986. Okay, see, the thing is, you could put any random picture there of any sort of picture and I would believe you. I can't verify it. 1988. The Pizzasaurus collection. Oh, I remember these. My sister and I would fight over these. I remember her saying she'd shotgunned the one on the far left, which, in hindsight, is very terrible foreshadowing. I'm sure I've already brought this up at some point in a video, but hey, if you'd like to ruin your day, Google Ducky voice actor. If you remember this, you deserve a veteran's discount. Hey, you. This feels like a punch in the gut. 2016 is just as far away as 2030. Does anyone else remember this cereal? Wait, they're not around anymore? Damn, I haven't had cereal in wow, I haven't had cereal in decades. Philips Underdash record player, circa 1960.
What a great gizmo to invest in. I don't think anything could replace this.
Who remembers government cheese? Yo, what? I can see why this isn't a thing anymore. Too many people would be accusing the government of trying to poison them because they don't know how to cook things properly. Reminder that the GameCube is officially retro now.
Gen Z likes to call the GameCube retro.
Yeah, because the GameCube debuted 22 years ago, you dingus. And in the timeline of video game console development, the GameCube is closer to the Sega Master System than it is to the PS5. Like, my first console was a Mattel Intellivision, and you officially have my permission to call turn of the millennium game consoles retro. I know there's a reason for this. As we get older, we perform more mundane, repetitive activities, so our brain doesn't really record as much. It doesn't need to. So while time is passing by as normal, we think something like the GameCube isn't that far away from us when really it is. Return of the Jedi, released in 1983, turns 40 this year. What? That came out in what? Dude, I thought that was like 1998. Wow, my childhood's a lie. Groovy new revamp of a classic show. Really uncomfortable with how much Photoshop they've done to the parents' faces.
We've all done this, right?
More importantly, do we still do it? I hope this tradition hasn't died yet. The hidden meaning behind the save icon. In Australia, one man explains that the logo for the Save Pick app is actually an illustration of a floppy disk, which was a device in the 80s and 90s for saving data. What is your target audience of people looking at this article? Those born after 2005? Back in the good old days where a 1 gigabyte USB stick would cost $40. Christine, 1983, featured a red 25-year-old Plymouth. If they were to remake it in 2023, how scary would it be? Yeah, not exactly as intimidating as the original. Besides, if you want a scary car, just get a BMW. They have microtransactions. What I think 30-year-old sci-fi is. Whatever this is, what is that? What 30-year-old sci-fi actually is?
Oh, hell yeah, I love Serenity.
The rear projection television that households had in the 90s and 2000s. Sometimes we called them big screen TVs. Oh, yo, I remember these! What an absolute eyesore they are now, my goodness. How I feel when I have to scroll down to the year I was born. Tick, 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 tick. Sis and I were reminiscing about a fast food joint we worked at back in the day. It brought back memories of the cigarette vending machine that was in the lobby. Haven't seen one of these in ages. God, I'm old. Welcome to the 80s. We haven't fully acknowledged that cigarettes are bad yet. There are many things I appreciate about getting older. This is not one of them. Me. My bowels.
You have 30 minutes to find a toilet, and to show you we're serious, you have 5 minutes.
These antique/vintage sewing machines almost everyone's grandmother owns. Not mine, Nan, though. Instead, she has an extensive pile of containers of beads. She was ahead of her time. German woman claims she tried warning the USA about Chinese balloons 40 years ago. Well, great job. Let's just see how all the people who were in charge back then are doing. Oh, they're all dead. If you say you didn't want to be on this show, you're lying. See, but you can play this game all the time at your local supermarket. You win if you can race past the checkout without paying. Getting old is weird because you're still that same enthusiastic kid trapped in a Schmidt show of a body. It's like playing a fun D&D session with your friends and you've been afflicted with poison. All of you have, and there's no cure. You just have that forever now. It's slowly eating away your energy and your ability to move. It's so much fun. I am almost 30.
Why am I already doing that noise when I sit down?
Whenever someone mentions The Sims, this is what I imagine. Oh man, I remember the first Roller Coaster Tycoon, similar like aesthetic to this. Every time I tried to play that game, I got sick. I swear the color palette and the pixels it screwed my brain so much my body would kill itself. Kids getting thrown off right and left. Total carnage. Wails of anguish. Not one adult gave a single schmidt about it. Yeah, when this thing does it, it's fun nostalgia. But when I do it, it's you're under arrest and stop throwing around my kid. Honestly, the double standards men face. Abandoned malls should be made into Gen X retirement communities. Needs to be 3 stories tall, food court, movie theater, arcade, Orange Julius, hot dog on a stick, skateboard ramp. This needs to happen. Yes, I'd be very much entertained to see some old people using a skateboard ramp.
2050 is closer than 1990. Skeletor will return next week with more disturbing facts.
Who remembers the Snorks? I don't. Who remembers the Solid Gold Dancers? I don't. January 20th, 1987. Unsolved Mysteries debuted on Nibika. Amazing. The very first crime podcast, but with visuals. Ringo Starr is 82 and somehow doesn't look a day over 45. Hey Ringo, is that a peace sign or just how many people you've sacrificed to keep your youth? To like a cartoon so much, you'd willingly eat canned spinach as a kid.
Alan's Popeye cut leaf spinach, misdirecting children's understanding of protein since whenever it was made.
The Seventh Guest, 1993. PC CD-ROM classic. 2 discs of puzzle to solve, full motion video, and spooky atmosphere. Could you imagine this released in 2023? Considering we freak out when someone calls us rather than texts us, I imagine the spiritual remake would be called The One Guest. That's just your Uber Eats delivery.
But he's trying to strike up conversation.
Today I took the last piece of wire from this ancient spool. It really hurts my heart that I was going to make a joke about how, oh look, you can be a returning customer after 20 years. That's 87. It's 23. Want to feel old? That's not Woody Allen. It's Bruce Springsteen. Can't tell the difference? It's easy. If you look closely, you can see that Bruce doesn't have a creepy relationship with his adopted daughter. My age no longer allows me to suffer for love. So if you see me sad, it is because of lack of money. Okay, Mr. Krabs. When I was a kid, there were 2 ways to die. Natural causes and talking back to your parents. That's not a good thing. Why are you implying that's nostalgia? That's trauma, man. Saw this at Target.
Jurassic Park 30th anniversary.
How dare you add an extra digit to that 3? The Hobbits then and now. Wow, look, they're all still short. Who remembers these? I don't. Nowadays, when kids get bored, they have their iPhones, iPads, and internet. I had this. I do welcome Gen Z to, please tell us what you think this is implying it is. When I was young, I thought this was the epitome of wealth and sophistication. Oh my god, yes, wow, I could buy that right now. Oh my god. I can live my Richie Rich dreams. Okay, update. I did literally just leave to go buy one. I've just had a slice and I'll tell you what, it is honestly pretty mid. It's no Messina, I'll tell you that. My first thought when people mention TikTok, let me guess, it's Keisha. Oh no, this person's older than me. Remember the feeling of walking into class and seeing one of these set up? You knew it was going to be an easy hour. Maybe even some nap time. Damn, dude, how old are the people on this subreddit? I was expecting a TV set up on some wheels. Annie and Molly then. Now, they're adults. Wow, who could have seen that coming? Which tower did you have in the 90s? I personally had the white one. It's 1999. Spotify and iTunes don't exist yet. You've just spent $10 on an album, which back then is probably like $20 or $25. 3 tracks in and you realize it freaking sucks. Oh man.
I hurt my tricep, then hurt my back trying to stretch my tricep.
Wallace and Gromit. The Wrong Trousers is turning 30 years old this year. I never understood how I actually found that facial structure to be friendly. Seriously, there's like 4 teeth at the top and then just an entire row at the bottom like that. What the hell?
Why don't I find it scary?
My printer turns 18 today. It could vote. That's the one burden of living in modern technological age. Sure, my printer has a touch screen, but back then they were actually designed to last forever. Anthony Kiedis and Madonna at the 12th annual Mativavimas, 1995. Hey Madonna, can I have your jawline please? Cheers, thank you. What cables are these? If it helps, I live in the UK. Plus, there are 2 of these cables joined together in each bedroom of my house. My friend, let me introduce you to the world of analog. And no, it's got nothing to do with your butt. I want my 90 minutes back from 1986. Oh wow, okay, this is a story that deserves to be shared. Yes, I did Google it. You're welcome, by the way. In 1986, they found Al Capone's vault underneath a hotel. Tens of millions of people turned up wanting to see what was inside. It was broadcast live across America at like 10 p.m. at night. Everyone's so eager to know what was inside. Drugs, money, Robin's cancelled OnlyFans. After almost 2 grueling hours of digging and dynamiting, they reach it. They crack it open, and inside is an old sign and some Prohibition-era hooch. That was it. It has gone down in American history as the largest scaled experience of blue balls. If you grew up watching this, yes, you are there.
Hey,
These happy days are your and mine. Fisher Price house, school, farm, or garage. These were our peoples? Oh, I played with a couple of these dorks when I was a kid. They're super funny. I mean, look at them. They're just adorable. What do you mean by peoples? When you're born at age 48. Yeah, see, young kids with that type of hairstyle. What is that, like a beehive or something? I don't even know what it's called because I'm not 73 at this point. But yeah, dude, that is true. The hairstyles will make you look way older than you are, even when you're like 8. Look at that guy. That guy is already a dad with a family of 7. Today, 8-year-olds are asking for the latest iPhone. When I was 8, I felt like I'd won the lottery if I had this pen. Same. Honestly, same though. Not an SUV inside. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, I get it. But, to be fair, I think even among the largest SUVs that you can buy normally here in the United States, like normally, like I can go out and buy, let's say a Suburban, which I think is the longest running car in the US or something stupid. Came out in the 40s, let's not get into that. Watch Donut Media. Anyway, these cars probably got way less gas mileage than some of the largest, most ridiculous SUVs on the road today, which is insane. If this picture was indeed from the 70s like I suspect it is, given the faded color palette alone from this photograph that actually proves absolutely nothing at all, then pretty sure there was a gas shortage around that time too because of how shitty cars were and of course other things. It wasn't just shitty gas mileage. I don't want any of you to come to Twitter and yell at me about how I didn't know about this thing going on in the 70s like a war or what. I know! I'm aware of what was going on in the 70s. But shitty cars did not help the situation. Alright? That car right there that we're looking at probably got what? 6 gallons per mile? Don't call yourself an 80s fan if you don't know this band. Hey, the guy in the middle's the Yes Man from Yes Man, the dude with the seminar. McDonald's making the filling for their apple pies in the 80s. When did they stop actually frying them? Because I don't think I ever got to have one as a kid. I'm not exactly sure when. Now that was just McDonald's recently making their coffee, I guess. They don't do that anymore, thank God. And McDonald's is a little weird from time to time. Okay, I'm kidding. They were always weird. Now, this was a stereo. Okay, I'm not that old, though. I'm getting a little old. I'm not that old, okay? I did always want one of these, though. Back when I did collect vinyl, I wanted one that had a tape deck in it as well. Remember when the gas station attendant checked the oil, washed the window, checked the tires, air, and pumped the gas? Okay, really wish you hadn't written it like that, but no. Again, I'm not why am I doing this? I'm not the oldest person on here, right? There's no way. Damien's 63. He could be doing this one. Oh man, I grew up in a state that hadn't had attendance for like 500 years? I don't know. Isn't there only one state left that doesn't allow you to pump your own gas? I've grown up pumping my own gas forever, all right? In case you needed more proof that older hairstyles are one of the top reasons people from the past appear older to us, well, that and you edited her face, so that helps a little bit, I guess. I mean, not very much, but it looks like you smeared out, if she's got a wrinkle on the forehead that you erased. That's a little lame, but no, totally. Teenagers would have hairstyles like that would make them look 35 years older than they were, so I agree with that one. Well, the coloring over the gray hair and airbrushing away all the wrinkles has a bit to do with it as well. Do better. The eyebrows being added. Wait, what? How did I not even notice the eyebrow? Damn, yeah, what a crappy post. Who can still drive one of these? I can. I will not. I do not want to. And trust me, you don't want me to either. I will stall, but once I get on the highway, I'll be fine, because then you don't really have to. Driving a stick's the same as driving a damn automatic once you get up on the highway, all right? You're fine on a road trip. I am not driving one of these bad boys in the city, though. Won't catch me dead, nuh-uh. This door weighed more than the entire car you're driving now. Yeah, and it wouldn't protect you at all. Oh man, cars from that era. Awful. Growing up, I never knew if I was opening the butter or leftovers. That's one thing my family didn't do. We never used these empty tubs as, not Ziploc, what's the word? Tupperware. Even though Tupperware is a brand name and not a product name. All right, what do we have here? I don't know Woolworth Company? F.W. Woolworth. Hamburger platter, 55 cents. Cheeseburger platter, 60 cents. Did you ever eat at Woolworths? I don't know what it is. I definitely never ate there. But damn these prices, baby. Enjoy a king-size Coca-Cola for a dime. Heinz hot dinners? Whew, okay. I wish I knew exactly what year this was, though. I kind of want to compare it to inflation. Kind of want to see what these prices would be today with just raw inflation, but I don't see a date anywhere on the image. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. Kids, not. There used to be a phone number you could call just to find out what time it was. Was it 411? Was it finding? Sorry. Was it dialing the operator, or was it actually just a specific number you could call and it would read the time for you? Because that sounds believable. I've called the operator before. Do we still have operators? I mean, I feel like once Google caught on and other search engines followed suit, it was over for that poor operator. We were a Harvest Gold household. Copper tone, avocado green, Harvest Gold, standard white, new poppy red. I think I was a standard white house. To be fair, I am a standard white. Your mom thought you were riding your bike around the block for 8 hours, but in that time you went 5 miles away, explored an abandoned house, jumped over some garage roofs, attempted a Ouija board, built a den in the woods, and made your own fire. Yes, and let me guess, the person who created this also thinks that everybody who's a kid now is stupid and worthless because they spend their time doing something else they find fun. We're not all Stranger Things, How we had to unfriend people back in the day. Is it because you all have identical hair? Different colors, sure, but the same damn hair? Seriously, dude, they're all the same style! Just slightly different from one to the next. Slightly different. Also, I never understood the crossing people out thing. That's just so fucking weird, man. We just had a list of places and numbers on a card next to the phone. Why did you put the ellipses there like it's some awkward thing? We just had this. Remember going through the phone book to order a pizza? I do. I used to go to the phone book to do all kinds of shit. But yeah, the internet really changed my world. I'm actually kind of glad that I was at the very tail end of the phone book being very commonplace still. I think some cities or towns will still have them, which is more of a novelty than anything else, especially with everyone having a smartphone now. But man, it was kind of cool. It's kind of cool going through and actually ordering via the phone. I haven't ordered over the phone from a restaurant in God knows how long. I think the last time I did it was because I didn't want to use Jimmy John's website, so I just gave him a call. When I was a kid, this was my idea of a gang to hang with. Girls, guys, black, white, skinny, fat, cool, dorky, no matter who you were, you fit in. Wouldn't it be cool if we could all play together again? Dude, what are you talking about? Segregation was still around when this show was on. Took until 1964 for that to get outlawed. It's so much more legal now. What do you mean? You're talking like it's a crime. It's not. Kids will be kids. All right, okay, they're allowed to play together, you freak. Please tell me I'm not the only kid in the 70s to have these. Hours of entertainment. Lol. All right, but remember, you can still buy these. They were not just a random product of the 70s. I had like 3 of these as a kid. And you're right, they're really fun. Woolly Willy, who the hell is this? Magnetic person. Oh, it's this thing. Right. That's fun. I don't like him though. Growing up poor. Sandwich bread, hot dog bun, hamburger bun, garlic bread. The struggle was real. I don't know. I never saw it as a struggle. The hamburger bun, probably. I didn't really like using regular bread as a bun. Not quite the same thing, sure. But the rest of it is totally fine. Have you ever made garlic bread using standard crappy cheap bread? I have. It's good. And as a hot dog bun, works just fine. And of course, as sandwich bread, duh. Remember using a knife or spoon to pry the lid open? Yes or no? No. By the time I started drinking Nestle Quick bullcrap, they were in plastic tubs, so. Remember when we didn't go in public wearing pajamas? Dude, shut up. Get off your high horse. I totally understand it, but I feel like a couple people back then definitely did, at least a couple of times, all right? Chill. If you know who this is, your joints hurt in the morning. Wait a minute. Sorry, I recognized him immediately, but only from a specific project. He did play a character in my favorite movie of all time, The Stupids. Didn't know he was called Captain Kangaroo, or not necessarily called it, but I mean the show. I didn't know who he was outside of that movie at all. Yeah, Captain Kangaroo. I have a letter from him in response to a fan letter my mom wrote him on my behalf. Well, that's good. Just wondering if anyone else read this series when they were growing up. Encyclopedia Brown, boy detective. You know, I didn't read any like detective books or anything like this. I guess from my era, I was reading things like City of Ember, The True Meaning of Smek Day, never read the Lightning Thief series or the Olympians or whatever you want to call it, Warrior Cats, Harry Potter, shoot. What else did I have in there? The Great Brain is a little older, but I remember reading those books growing up. Remember when drinks came in these waxed paper cups? They do sometimes still, at least in my experience. Wow, there are a lot of images of these cups. Anybody else remember playing this? Yeah, I feel like a lot of people do. Not everyone, but a lot of people. I don't know anybody that beat it though. Growing up in my generation, all weekends started with this, and all weekends ended with this. The Wonderful World of Disney. How old are you? Who remembers these? Wait, traveler's checks? I do not remember that at all. Never leave home without it. Still? If you know what these are, you're old as dirt. They still make caps. Not caps. You know what? Yeah, who cares? They still make them. The hell is this? If you know what this, you are officially old. Okay, it's glue. You push the rubber tip on your paper and some comes out. Okay, interesting. Friends, Iron Man's death was the saddest in the bear. Okay, kid. Did they have scary movies when you were a kid? Me. We had scary everything when I was a kid. I'm glad you admit it and don't hold any nostalgia for this psycho crap. Who else had to read this book when they were in school? The Catcher in the Rye. No, I had to read The Giver, Tangerine. Let me see, what else do we have to read? Obviously, something from... No, I can't even remember their name right now. I'm having trouble remembering names lately. I think I'm dying. I have this exact edition of this book, same cover. I had high hopes when we got the assignment because we had to get a permission slip from our parents to read it, but I couldn't stand the book. I reread it about 10 years after high school to give it a second chance and liked it even less. Holden Caulfield was such a whiny little baby. I forgot that a large amount of people alive today have not a single clue what dinosaurs was. That's not what I thought you were gonna show me. I mean, I knew about it, but not that much. Fossil of a dinosaur skull found in Brazil. According to paleontologists, this is a rare species that inhabited our country during the early 1990s. Yeah, just a single family? Who all had these candy cigarettes growing up? Or who all had these candy cigarettes growing up? I'm confused on what that, never mind, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I didn't. I think I got a couple in trick-or-treating outings growing up, but not very often. Yep, and let's be honest, they didn't taste good. Anyone remember what show got you slimed? What show got you slimed? I do like that the copyright down here is Nickelodeon. That is correct. The show was Mr. Nickelodeon. Who remembers the church lady bit on SNL? I only do because my mom remembered the church lady bit on SNL. Dana Carvey was a master. With him and the late Phil Hartman, they could do anything. Back when Mike Myers used to be funny too. Why is Mike Myers not funny anymore? I'm sorry. I made a whole tweet about this. That The Cat in the Hat's probably one of the best movies ever made. That's right. You can take that to the bank or credit union. I don't care. Just cash it because it's true. I'm this old. That doesn't tell me much. I mean, to be fair, those juice bars were something. I remember those being okay. I do have to say though, the giant pizzas, those were good. I'm sorry. Pizza's usually pretty good. I've never had an offensively bad pizza. You know that old adage they say about sex and pizza? Anyway, is that a cheese zombie? Kinda sad to see, but maybe it'll spark a fond memory for some. Oh wow, that took a good second. Are these the speakers for a drive-in theater? I feel bad for people who never got to taste chicken that came out of this. I swear this thing added its own spices. What the hell is that? Now I'm curious. All right, let's see. This picture just hit me like a Tyson uppercut. My dad used to make popcorn out of this thing, and I remember my mom making chicken cutlets. Ours was yellow. By the time I was old enough to touch it, the numbers on the dial were gone. I had to ask for help to try and find the right cooking temperature. See, that's good though. Something that can last that long in my kitchen. That's why I'm very stupid and whiny about what I buy and put into my kitchen, okay? Not just hunting down brand names, but hunting down brands and items that actually back up the claims that they make. Anyone else remember this one? Yeah, what is that called? Like Hollywood Squares or something stupid? Didn't they try to reboot that or something? Paul Lynde was funny as hell. Liked him on Bewitched too. Who remembers these car stereos? Yeah, the ones that you could pull out of the car. The anti-theft stereos. Pretty cool. I don't know if the anti-theft was actually the idea. It makes sense to me, or makes enough sense. I also like that this is a picture from MacGruber. What's that movie, like 11, 12 years old? How old are you? I used to roll up in my Fox Body Mustang, detach the face of my Pioneer, and put it in the special black plastic case with the... Oh yeah, dude! Oh, no way. The plastic case, I remember that. Steve Martin is 78, which is crazy because I thought he was 78 in 1989. I mean, he just went white a long time ago. Not white guy, but his hair went white a long time ago. If you've ever seen a picture of him when he's supposedly like 17 or something working at the magic shop in Disneyland, the dark hair is different, for sure. Also, just for those that don't know, the picture of him on the left is not him in 1989. That was a picture of him from like 2004, 2005 when he was in Cheaper by the Dozen, as Daddy Mr. Dozen. Who remembers watching this classic every year when they were growing up, and still watches it now? Oh, the Charlie Brown one. Okay. It was either going to be that, or one of the Rankin Bass, not claymation, stop motion animations. I know that the Frosty the Snowman one was not stop motion, but nonetheless, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, every year. We've all got our own special classics now. A grocery store in the early 1980s. All glass bottles, no plastic in sight. Ah, man. How much more expensive would it be possible to do that again? I mean, even if it were, companies would legitimately just refuse to go back to it because plastic is virtually free for them to use and never reuse. I'm this old. You are that old, but I feel like I had a version of this growing up. I don't know. We used to give away one of those, but it was 6 feet tall, so we'd hang it from the ceiling at work. One day, one of my customers is standing there looking at it and asked, "Do you win the stocking or all the stuff in it too?" And without hesitating, I told him, "Just the stocking. They're showing you how much you can fit into it." And he said, "That's cool of them. You could put a person in it too." The talking magpies. Heckle and Jekyll. Oh, wait a minute. Every rainy school day, they'd corral us into the cafeteria for lunch instead of letting us play outdoors and roll out the 16mm projectors to show show us this cartoon, and every other Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny, or Popeye film from the 40s. This was in the 60s. All right, millennials are here. I love that a lot of generations have seen these cartoons. I saw it on VHS in the 90s and still remember the short. Pretty sure it was just Heckle and Jekyll that taught me all about different superstitions. So I am a much younger millennial. I don't remember these guys at all. Hell, I remember as a kid, my school had an actual 16mm projector. We would watch all sorts of stuff on there, but it was one of the worst schools in the United States. They actually had to send my mom a letter admitting to that. Old enough to have had the little round button on the floorboard in more than one daily driver. Yeah, what was that for? What was that again? I don't know. I just teleport everywhere. Y'all remember Miss Cleo? Miss Cleo's mind and spirit. All the answers are in the cards. I do not. I worked with her once. We were videotaping a radio show for something. We had 3 cameras in a radio studio. One was on a jib arm overlooking her tarot cards. She had this stupid Jamaican accent and she smoked a cigar. This was in the mid to late 90s, I think. Turns out she was from Los Angeles. Okay, well, her being from Los Angeles, I guess makes the stupid Jamaican accent comment slightly better, but still weird. Okay. Who remembers these? Don't they still make the drinking bird? Isn't it one of those things? Never mind. You can probably find it on eBay. Who remembers pulling a soda out of one of these machines? No, I don't. I grew up with all the modern machines that shake your crap up. My barber had one of these cool vending machines. It was a Coca-Cola vending machine, but it was awesome. Put in your money in the slot. The glass door would let you open it up. On the slide out what kind of pop, glass bottle you could take, and yes, please close the door when you're done. Oh, all right. Yeah, sweet. Remember when clerks would carry groceries to car? I'm sorry. This is just old people bait on Facebook. This is just generational bait on Facebook, because you can ask them to do that today. You can ask them to do that, all right? If there happens to be a clerk that's doing your bagging, sometimes they'll even ask you, like, you need any help getting this out there, especially if you're older and you got a lot of crap to take out. I used to work at a grocery store. That's pretty normal, okay? If someone asks me, could you help me get this out to my car? I'm not gonna go, oh no, we don't do that anymore. No, come on. That's still very possible. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this? Ooh, writing in cursive, or just learning your letters in general. But I remember this paper more so for cursive and learning the size differences between capital letters and lowercase letters. That was a big thing. I may have been one of the last people ever to be taught cursive in elementary school. How bad my handwriting was, and continues to be. Yeah, I never got any better past 3rd grade. Today I learned the ages of the actors during the first season of All in the Family. How old were they all? What are the ages of the actors? Are they all like 24? Oh, okay, here we go. We're gonna... Carol O'Connor was 48, Gene Stapleton was 46, while Rob Reiner and Sally Struthers were both 23. It's always amazed me how old everyone looks in the 70s compared to did you just say Rob Reiner? Oh my god, that is Rob Reiner. No way, dude, what the hell? That's amazing. I don't think I've ever seen him with hair. That confused me. If you ever used one of these perpetual towel contraptions to dry your hands in the 70s, you're probably immune to all forms of viruses and diseases now. Yeah, every single time one of these comes up, someone says those exact words in a comment. I used one of these in Finland. Oh, it was fine. It was fine. Do you guys think they don't get cleaned or sanitized? I mean, they can't be every 5 seconds for sure. But how do you think these work? Return before it's due. Who remembers what this is for? Okay, now wait a minute. Who doesn't? I feel like young kids still have libraries in their schools, right? Have they switched over to being completely digital like everything else? Because I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. But when I was in high school, I graduated 2014, and we were still using these. People were still stamping the books in the library, and the building was literally brand new the year I started going there. So they could have switched over. That's how Big Library tracked our data consumption. I never trusted that Dewey decibel system either. 1 minute, you're young and fun, and the next you're turning down the stereo in your car to see better. Oh, dude, I was doing that at 17. I don't know why. Just any distractions, man. We never worried about our TV being stolen in the 80s. It took 4 people just to move it a few inches to the left. As someone that owns 2 CRTs to this day, and one of them being one of the last CRT models that Sony ever made, the thing weighs 270 pounds because it's a widescreen 32-inch high-definition CRT. I have it for my games. Just wow. Yeah. Although I don't think it was any lighter back when it was mostly made of wood and glass rather than just plastic and glass. I don't know. Call me old-fashioned or stupid. Remember Remember phone books that doxed our whole towns? Bro, when I was a kid, they really just mailed everyone a giant book full of everyone's full names, addresses, and phone numbers. I do have to say, that's still one of the wildest things that I can actually remember. I do think that some phone books might still exist, but in ad format, I guess, where it's just a bunch of ads and garbage and then business names and blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'll do you one better. You remember calling an operator to get a hold of somebody? That was kind of cool. Anyone else ever have one of these when they were growing up? Yeah, pretty sure you can still get them too. Maybe with a little bit more effort, of course. Remember, a lot of the things that make you feel old are still around. I bet future generations won't understand this immensely frustrating experience at all. Yeah. Future generations, when the A-type is finally gone, sure. They'll just know how crappy USB-C can be after like a year of continued use. You know how many USB-C ports have broken on me on my phone? It's ridiculous. A woman with $20 of groceries before going home to her $15,000 house in 1980. Okay, well, I don't know about $15,000 house, but I'm pretty sure the median home price in the year 1980 was like, what? $46,000 or something like that. Knowing how groceries were back then, that was probably negative $12. Abandoned malls should be turned into Gen X retirement homes. 3 stories tall, with a food court, movie theater, arcade, Orange Julius, a skate park, and a Glamour Shots, just for the hell of it. A Glamour Shots. See, I think those were done by the time I was born. Possibly. At least in my area they were. I do believe that abandoned malls should be used for something. Seriously, use them for something. There's gotta be something we can do that benefits people, right? Bazooka. Who remembers when bubblegum came with comics? Me. Because I'm pretty sure I was able to get a butt ton of these as a child. When do you think I grew up? I found out after 41 years that there are no holes in the pool tables in the Beat It video. Okay, wait, whoa. I'm going to verify this right now. Wow. Yeah, that's really strange. I thought they were screwing with me. Today, 8-year-olds are asking for the latest iPhone. When I was 8, I felt like I'd won the lottery if I had this pen. Same. Photos I took of my girlfriend, now wife, age 21 and 65. All right, let's take a look. See here. University, Tennessee. I was hoping for like an of or something. All right, yo, she's aged like 2 years. In what, 40 plus? I'm sorry. Yeah, you'd think I'd be able to do that math in my head. I can't do it. Quit putting that much faith in me. Macaulay Culkin is now older than Catherine O'Hara was when she played his mother in Home Alone. Yeah. Time is kinda crazy, isn't it? As I get older, the more I understand these guys. I don't. Look, I think I talked about Married with Kids or Married with Children, I can't remember the name because it doesn't matter, quite a bit. And it's fantastic boomer humor. It's boomer humor at its finest, lampooning the entire generation and how they treat marriage and blah, 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 blah. I'm not sympathizing with Al goddamn Bundy. That douchebag couldn't get over, what, was it scoring 4 touchdowns in a game in high school? Get over it, dude! Plus, he's a shoe salesman. That's pretty bad. Behold the mighty chain lamp, a staple in every home in the 1970s. Yeah, I got nothing on the chain lamp, man. Absolutely nothing. Maybe I saw one once in my life? Remember the feral kid from Mad Max? Feel old? Alright, shouldn't this subreddit actually be 4 things that make you feel old and not this? Because I don't know, that just doesn't feel like it's in the right place. Imagine you travel back to 1989 and tell everybody that Roseanne will be better looking than Madonna. I don't know what to tell you, man. Don't care about either of them at all, and I feel really bad for one of them. I was put in a trance watching The Marble. Oh, man. You know what? Never actually played the board game. I would always set it up, set off the trap, be immediately bored after that, going, well, that was cool, and then stop. I'd put it back. I never played the game to this day. You ever take a nap so good you thought you missed the school bus, but it's Sunday and you're 52? Maybe when I'm 52 I'll have that experience, but just I've got a little bit longer to go. Can someone explain this tweet to me? Why it takes so long? The fuck is Napster? On this day, 15 years ago, my mom's picked up the phone and interrupted a file at 96% I'd been downloading from Napster for 17 hours. I will say, I'm very, very glad that I only experienced dial-up for a short period in my life. You know, for those of you that aren't aware, that are super young, dial-up was a little goofy, you know, for at least a little while for a lot of people. If you used the house phone, it would disconnect from the internet, because that's how the internet happened. You would use the phone. Man, it was weird, okay? It was weird. You may be old, but are you this old? That is the tiniest frickin' image I've ever seen. Hold on. MS-DOS? I'm not that old, no. Do you know what this is? Have you ever used one? Jesus, why is this so demanding? It's almost accusing of something. Yes, we've all used the guillotine cutter in class. The machine that has a little machete on the side of it. Yes, I feel like it's still in use. Spotted in a Philadelphia bar. $14 a pack. Holy shiza, what in the world? I've actually never seen a cigarette dispenser in the wild. I don't think I need to, but it's just weird that I haven't. The fact that people used to deliver pizzas before GPS is so absurd to me. People were literally calling up a pizzeria like, I want a large pizza delivered in 30 minutes. I'm gonna give you a house number and a random street name. Good goddamn luck. Those people were insane. It's one of the reasons I actually couldn't end up working for UPS. I tried to be a delivery driver for them once, and they're like, yo, we're gonna give you a route. We will train you for 3 days, and suck it. Who remembers when playgrounds looked like this? That's it? I don't think playgrounds have ever just been a merry-go-round, right? Pink Floyd updated their profile picture to celebrate the 50th anniversary of The Dark Side of the Moon. And the replies are something. Okay. What's up with the rainbow? Lose the rainbow, you're making yourself look stupid. What is that Pink Floyd? What a disgrace. From this moment, I don't listen to this band. Are you going woke with rainbows? Is there a straight flag? I want equal representation. Don't get me wrong, we should all be true to who we are. Peace. What do you mean equal representation? You're straight. You've been getting that since humanity was invented by God, I guess, dude. Also, really? None of them understand? Are you serious? You can't consider yourself a goddamn fan of Pink Floyd and then ask them why there's a rainbow on the... You know what? It doesn't matter. Holy crap. The Gen Z slang term Riz is Oxford's 2023 word of the year. I don't care. And why is he there? Why is Tom Holland here? I don't understand this. Any fellow old people remember when computers told us this? It's now safe to turn off your computer. I remembered having a computer that did that for a little while. Those were the days when you turned it on and it made more noise than a war zone. The internet used to come through the phone and it sounded like screaming robots. Sure, Grandma, let's get you to bed. Hey, whoa. The internet can still sound like that. Fax machines are still in use to this day. I'm so old, I remember when Saturday Night Live was still funny. Grow the hell up, they were always mid. No matter what decade, generation, whatever you want to call it, Saturday Night Live was at worst embarrassing and at best all right, okay? How many of you sat by the radio waiting to hear the name of your school announced to find out if you had a snow day? I mean, not the radio, jeez. But I certainly would pop on the news on TV. You know, the free TV? You guys remember the free TV, right? Kid complaining about Spotify. They don't know the real struggle. I've got quite a few cassette tapes, my man. Also, I'll complain about Spotify because it sucks. This is what 30-year-olds looked like in the 80s. I mean, yeah, styles are weird, man. I don't know what else to tell you. I have noticed, along with a lot of other people, that it just seemed like people looked way older back then, huh? Do you remember? I'd probably have an easier time remembering if this image wasn't so damn close. Why is it so zoomed in? Can you back up a little bit? No one could touch the TV. Without revealing your actual age, what's something you remember that If you told a younger person, they wouldn't understand. Video games only worked on Channel 3. I don't think that's an age thing. A lot of stuff that seems like an age thing can also come down to being a poor thing, because I had old TVs, old consoles, and I had to play video games on Channel 3 for a little while until I kind of was able to catch up with stuff, alright? You may be old, but are you this old? No, I was born 2 years before Windows 98. Unless Windows 98 for some strange reason was not made in 1998, which, I'll be real with you, that would be completely insane. The kids have no idea. Yes, they do. Maybe not as many anymore. I keep having to say, I had this, as though I'm like 12. I'm not. Obviously, you guys know that. But I'm pretty sure I went back to visit one of my schools somewhat recently within the last 5-6 years, and they still have these on the walls. I think my grandmother has one on the wall. I don't know why. Who else couldn't wait to watch this every year? I know kids that like watching this every year. I own this on 4K now. You keep up with the times. How old are you? Me? Yeah, I could see that one. I did this. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic, everyone. Guess what? We're all old. Oh, God. Oh, no, it's catching up with me already. Grew up in the 70s and 80s. Let's see. Your grandparents waiting in line for Star Wars, 1977. Okay, well, I was born in 96, so some of these are gonna go right over my head. You never forget the feeling of being hit in the shin by one of these. You also never forget the feeling of the one time you had to ride it barefoot. How old did you assume Homer Simpson was? In this episode, Season 10, Episode 2, he's having a midlife crisis at age 39. Dude, you can have a midlife crisis whenever you want. You can be 14, 20, 90, does not matter. I have one like every week, and I'm not quite 27 yet. My kids found this in my 1999 Honda glove box and asked what it is. I said it was a way to stream music back then. No, come on. I love these things, though. I'm a huge cassette head, for sure, so these things crack me up. You could still buy them. Hell, they make Bluetooth versions of it now. I remember the spoon's taste more than the ice cream. Yeah, that one's unfortunately true. From 20 years ago? Oh my God. Is that a second generation shuffle? I had the first generation one, the one that was a little longer. Oh man, it had a physical shuffle button and everything. What a great little device. Perfect for workouts. Nothing beats it. We never had syrup growing up. Just the powder in a can. Had to pry the lid off with the spoon. What in the... Oh, right, Nesquik. Okay, yeah. I had this before. It's not bad. Sometimes the powder was better. Honestly, when it comes to the syrup, you drink it and then you get to the bottom of the glass and you realize that almost none of the syrup was actually going into the milk and it's all stuck to the glass anyway. The powder, probably better. Just found out these kids from School of Rock are a couple today. I'm not going to try and verify that, but that's kind of cool. Also, rest in peace, Freddy. Yeah, the kid who played the drummer in the movie unfortunately passed away. Half-Life 2 was released 18 years ago. Yeah, and Half-Life Alyx was released 2? No, that can't be right. Oh man, the original Liminal Space. You're right. Or, I don't know. You know what? No, I wouldn't say liminal. I'm not sure what I would call this. In The Simpsons episode where Lisa is shown her future, the future is 2010. Well, yeah, do you not know how old The Simpsons is? Like, holy crap, they're gonna be turning 40 at some point soon here. And he made it to 59. Rip. Remember when Coolio was 23 and didn't know if he'd live to be 24? He's 57. Oh man, that makes me sad. POV, you just realized that there are now as many Wimpy Kid books published after The Long Haul than before. What? The Long Haul? Loved watching this as a kid. Just something about it made it so satisfying. What in the hell is this? Speed disc. Holy sh**. I'm a 90s kid. No, you're a 30-year-old man. Well, I was born in 96, as I said before, so I'm not technically a 90s kid. I don't have any formative memories from the 90s. I think my earliest memory was the year 2001. Earliest memory I can think of. Macaulay Culkin is now the same age as Marv from Home Alone. Look, I'm still waiting for someone to beg for the rights to Home Alone so they can have him star in, I guess, a pseudo-sequel of sorts, but it's a horror version where he absolutely murders the people breaking into his home. I saw There's Something About Mary in the cinema just a couple of years back. No? Oh man, Ben! Ben's not even old. He just went completely white, kind of like Steve Martin did. His hair lost color immediately, without revealing your actual age. What's something you remember that if you told a younger person they wouldn't understand? Video games only worked on Channel 3. Aha! I'm not old enough to necessarily remember that, but I grew up poor enough to know exactly what he's talking about. Oh, I hated that so much. McLovin from Superbet, he turns 40? Oh, I thought you meant the actor. I hate you. You know what? Just for my own sake, let's take a look. Christopher Vince-Plasse? Okay, he's 33. Thanks for scaring me. Jesus. Can someone explain this tweet to me? Why it takes so long? The f*** is Napster? On this day 15 years ago, my mom's picked up the phone and interrupted a file at 96% I'd been downloading from Napster for 17 hours. Oh, right! That's something I do remember quite explicitly. The whole phone line internet connection. Oh, that was awful. Hey, look, I'm trying to play a game. Can nobody in the house use the phone at all? Also, remember home phones? Ooh. 1994 was over 10,000 days ago. What? Animorphs. Oh, jeez. I haven't seen this in a long time, man. Leather cell phone holster. The most dad accessory of all time. What in the world? How many recognize these? VHS tapes? Come on. You could do better than this. I finally remember what Zoom meetings remind me of. Oh, I miss it. Ernie Hudson at 77. My body at 47. Well, we can't all be Ernie Hudson, okay? You know you're old when you're proud of getting a near-perfect score just for sleeping. I didn't know we scored sleep. I'm just gonna leave this right here. Damn, I want one, and I have no use for it. Who remembers these scratch and sniff stickers? I mean, I don't. The Wii U was released 10 years ago today. Is that true? That is incorrect. It's November 21st as of recording this. It came out on the 18th. Liar. Also, people are selling them brand new for $2,000. Jeez, get over yourself. And this was 5 years ago. Yeah, and you still don't have any themes. Wow. I loved Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack when I was growing up. I didn't. There was nothing scarier than this guy's voice telling you about scary stuff that nobody solved. Joseph R. Cooper. We have no idea where this man is. My high school class yearbook is now on display at the County Historical Museum. Oh man, that's rough. Betty White is so old, I don't want to continue reading one about Betty White. It's going to make me sad, but you're right. She starred on a 7-season TV show about being old that went off the air before most of you were born. Yeah, she was also the oldest. Out of the whole crew of the Golden Girls, she was the oldest one at like 56 or something like that. Kurt Cobain's daughter is now older than he was at the time of his death, and I hope she's doing well. On November 18th, 30 years ago, the Seinfeld episode, The Contest, debuted on TV. The Contest? Let's see, are you still master of your domain? I am king of the... Oh, sure. The original Xbox is now old enough to drink in the US. And there it is. Real gaming. Oh, the Oregon Trail. I heard this got like some big fancy remake that's on Steam now. I remember this page printed out in the family car. Oh, dude, MapQuest. I think you can still do this. Yeah, I actually did it recently. Recently within like 6 or 7 months. But yeah, I actually printed out MapQuest directions for a joke. First time buying my own bag. Werther's original, man. You must have just turned 80. What's that like? The I grew up with no internet starter pack. Yeah, you're damn right. Ready to freak out? That stupid pinball game was a demo. There's so much more, dude. So much more. I felt physical pain when I read this one. I was watching Star Trek Voyager and saw Catherine Mulgrew from Orange is the New Black on there. Yup, not a car show, just a high school parking lot in the early 80s. Times sure were different. Mainly their cars were different. These weren't classic cars back then, they were just cool. Happy 70th birthday, Paul Rubens. Isn't it weird? Pee-wee is 70. The spleen is 70. How many of you have owned one of these multifunctional pencil cases as a kid? I certainly didn't, but that's cool as hell. Someone. I'm 18 years old. Me. Okay. I was born in 2004. Remember when this would get you 12 cents worth worth of penny candy? What? Oh, I see. Pizza Hut in the 80s. Oh man, look at all that personality. Now everything's grown up and boring. Cadet Carrie Mahoney in Larvell Jones, Police Academy. What an institution. Aw, I love Michael Winslow. I think he's from the same city as me, actually. Remember when batteries had a built-in power indicator? Oh yeah, you'd like break your fingers trying to read it. Back when I was a kid, you needed a can opener to drink Hawaiian Punch. Really? I'm always surprised by these brands and their longevity. Like, hell, do you know UPS is like 115 years old? Because I didn't until recently. You know how old FedEx is? Like 50. I realize this movie is fast approaching 30 years old. Shut your mouth. Damn, I'm old. Who remembers Montezuma's Revenge on the Apple IIe from 1983? I mean, I don't. I did have an old Macintosh once, though. That was kind of fun. This hurts. Ripped to all three comedians. Grew up in the 80s, watching them on HBO comedy specials. Man. And then Gilbert. Our parents would give us $5, drop us off, and just leave us all night. Man, back when $5 could get you a night of fun. In the 80s, my dad played croquet and bocce ball in the backyard. I want to play frisbee and hacky sack. Cool. Who else had these exact same speakers? I don't think I ever personally had them, but I remember them being all over my school. 2 teen girls asked me to take a pic of them, and I said sure. Then they handed me a disposable camera and tried to show me how to use it. Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. You know, I used a disposable camera recently. Not a single photograph came out. They were all messed up. I came, I saw, I forgot what I was doing, retraced my steps, got lost on the way back. Now I have no idea what's going on. What I think 20-year-old sci-fi is? What it actually is? You gotta stop, man. The baby Lisa Kudrow was pregnant with during season 4 is now a college graduate. Was she actually pregnant on the show? Like, for real? Cause that's true, I had no idea. I thought it was just a plot line, so they gave her a big fake belly. So you call yourself a gamer. I mean, I don't ever want to see one of these things again. That 70s show was made longer ago than the difference from when it was set. Oh, I see. First episode in 1976, or takes place. It aired in 1998, August 23rd. They made a similar show called... Oh, if they made a similar show called that... They are making that 90s show, actually. They confirmed the whole cast except for Mr. Going to Prison Masterson. Everybody should be coming back for the 90s show, right? Also, do you remember the only episode of the 80s show that came out and it was terrible? There are children being born whose parents were not alive when Shrek came out. Shut the hell up. Happy 59th birthday, Elizabeth Shue. You gotta watch Cobra Kai, man. I used to have a little fake cassette with a headphone wire to trick my car into playing an iPod Shuffle. Same. Sure, Grandma, let's get you to bed. I still love punk and metal music, but I'm slowly turning into this guy at a Slayer show. I love that guy at the shows, though. If you can smell it, you're old. All right, let's see. Ah, yes. The little gunpowdery cap gun. Some of the original Wonder Years cast. There they are. They're still around. Doing real well. 90s guy's first crush ever starter pack. I mean, I guess. Like I said, I was in the early 2000s. What the hell? The music I listened to in high school is now playing on the oldies station. Yep, and it's gonna keep getting worse. Who remembers when this was the stereo everyone wanted? I mean, that's the stereo I have, but with giant speakers on either side. Everybody born between 85 and 95 saw the Super Bowl halftime show lineup and was like, sweet, instead of doing a show for old people like the Rolling Stones or Paul McCartney or The Who, they did one for us young people. And then 10 seconds later, it hit us. I don't know why we ever did this, but we sure did. Why, dude? Stop. Seeing this shirt yesterday, the struggle was real. You know, with my cassettes, I actually have tried the pencil trick. It doesn't really work as well as you remember. The pencil's a little smaller than it should be. Bartender checking IDs. I can't serve you if you're under 21. Guest, I am 21. I was born in 1999. Hoo-hoo. Ouch. Ow. Kids today, find out school is canceled via text. Me, had to wake up at 5 a.m. and watch the bottom of the TV screen like the NFL draft. Yeah, I know I had to do that several times. You might have Call of Duty, but this is what warped your dad's mind. Tiger Electronic Handheld Games. Oh, these! You'd get these as like McDonald's toys sometimes. Tone dialing telephones are introduced November 18th, 1963. Oh, look at that. I'm pretty sure Technology Connections did an entire video on their ring, the little bell. You used to be able to put stuff on top of TVs. Yeah, I miss the olden days. Is that a Series X? I love this, 70s vintage CRT with your Series X. I actually just bought one of these and plugged it into my CRT, and I'm having a great time. I thought this letter was from the 50s, and then I saw it was 2009. All right, let's see here. Found an old letter sent to my mother who was struggling to make payments on my trumpet. Okay, righty then. That's interesting. 2009. Is this real? My 17-year-old. Yeah, it's just old as hell, son. At the beginning of 2021, half the main cast of The Mary Tyler Moore Show was still alive. Now they're all gone. Well, I mean, first of all, but it was a long time ago, man. It's unfortunate. Things happen. I'm so sorry. In the 80s, TV stations just turned off late at night. No infomercials, nothing. Just this. This now concludes our broadcast day. We invite you to join us again later this morning on Channel EmKay. Until then, this is Robin and the entire staff of EmKay bidding you all a very pleasant day.